Hello everyone, welcome to the video on mesh analysis for DC sources. So in this video, let us see two basic problems using mesh analysis. The first problem, find the mesh currents in the given circuit. So this is our given circuit, and if you observe the circuit, there are three currents I1, I2 and I3 in the three meshes, and there are two voltage sources, one is 25 volt and the other one is 10 volt. So now let us see what are the steps to be followed to solve a problem in the mesh current method. So the first step is we need to write the mesh basis matrix, which is the general matrix for all type of problems under mesh analysis. In the second step, we need to fill up the elements of the matrix, which are the resistance values and the source voltage values. And the third step, we need to solve the matrix, we need to solve the determinants of the matrix to find the various current values. I repeat the steps once again. First, we will write the basic general matrix. In the second step, we will fill up the elements of the matrix. And in the third step, we will find the determinants or various determinants of the matrix to find the different current values present in our given circuit. Now let us start with the problem. So I have placed the problem here for our reference. So the first step, as we saw already, we need to write the general matrix. So the first step, we are writing the general matrix for mesh analysis. It is R11, R12, R13, R21, R22, R23, R31, R32, R33. If there are three meshes means it will be a 3 cross 3 matrix. Two meshes means 2 cross 2 matrix, and it goes on. And if you see here, there are three mesh currents. So we have written it as I1, I2, I3. And three mesh means three voltage sources in the general matrix. So it is E11, E22 and E33. Now we will see how to write this R11. So R11 means the resistance that are exclusively present for the first mesh. So if you see here, for the first mesh we have 2 ohm plus 4 ohm. So R1 will be 2 plus 4, that is 6 ohms. R12 means the resistor that is common to the first mesh and the second mesh. So the resistor which is common to first and second mesh is 4 ohm. And the resistor that are common to the first and second mesh will be represented by minus sign. So we'll write this as minus 4. Next one is R13. Can we find any resistors common to first and the third mesh? So if you see here, this mesh and this mesh are not at all connected to each other. So R13, the value will be 0. R21. R21 means a common between the second mesh and the first mesh. So this will be represented by a minus sign. So it will be minus 4. R22 means exclusively for mesh 2. What are the resistors we can find in mesh 2? It is 4 plus 6 plus 5. So it will be totally 15 ohms. R23. 23 means common between the second mesh and the third mesh, which is this 5. So it will be minus 5. And similarly, you can try filling what is R31, R32 and R33. So when we write the various values, you'll be getting all these values, and we have filled up the resistance matrix. And the three currents are I1, I2 and I3. Now what about the voltage values? If you see in the first mesh, there is a voltage 25 volts, and the third mesh also has a source of 10 volts. But in second mesh, there is no voltage source. So for the second mesh, the value will be 0. Now come to the first mesh. We need to observe the direction of the flow of current, whether it is from minus to plus or plus to minus. Now if you see in the first mesh, the current flows like this. So it is going to be coming back in this way. So it is minus to plus. So minus to plus polarity means it will be represented by plus 25 volts. And if you see here, current goes like this. It is like this, right? So if plus to minus means we will represent the voltage as minus 10 volts. I repeat once again. It is coming in this direction and it rotates and goes back like this. So it goes from a negative polarity to a positive polarity. So minus to plus means the leaving terminal is positive. So this will be represented by plus 25 volt. And in the third mesh, the current leaves. The leaving terminal is negative. So this voltage will be represented by minus 10 volts. That is how we get the general matrix for the mesh current method. Next, we need to find three mesh currents here, which are I1, I2 and I3. So to find three mesh currents, we are going to apply Cramer's rule, which you would have studied already in mathematics. We are going to find delta, delta 1, delta 2 and delta 3. Del is nothing but the determinant of this matrix. This matrix, the determinant is what you call to be this delta value. Del 1 means remove this first column here and replace it with the voltage source values. So first column will be removed and the first column will be 25, 0, minus 10. Remaining two columns will remain the same. That is del 1. Del 2 means in a similar way, you have to remove the second column. So del 2 means what we have to do? I'm going to remove the second column and replace this with the voltage source values. So second column alone will be 25, 0, minus 10. Remaining two columns will retain it as such. And del 3 in a similar way, first two columns will retain. Remove the third column and replace it with the voltage source values 25, 0 and minus 10. So this is how we find del 1, del 2 and del 3. Now, by applying Cramer's rule, I1 can be found out by the formula delta 1 divided by delta. I2 is delta 2 divided by delta. And I3 will be del 3 divided by delta. So, we will find the determinant values of del 1, del 2 and del 3. And on dividing the corresponding values of the determinants, we will end up at the three mesh currents I1, I2 and I3. Now coming to the next step, we have found the del value, delta 1, delta 2 and delta 3. I hope you remember how to find the determinant. So this is plus, this is minus and this is plus once again. So it is plus of, close this row and this column. So it is 15 into 7 minus 5 into minus 5. Minus of, close this row and this column. It will be minus 4 into 7 minus of 0 into 5. And again plus of 0 into anything. So it becomes 0. So we have not written the third column there, right? So similarly find what is del 1, del 2 and del 3 values. Now I1 is found by dividing delta 1 divided by delta. I2 is delta 2 divided by delta. And I3 is found by delta 3 divided by delta. So as a final step, I1 is nothing but del 1 by del. I2 is nothing but del 2 by del. And I3 is nothing but del 3 by del. The minus sign in I3 signifies that the assumed current direction is not right and actually current flows in the opposite direction. That is the actual meaning of I3 having a negative value. So this is how we apply Cramer's rule to find the mesh currents in the mesh analysis method. So let me have a quick summary of the steps. We will first write, let me go back to the previous slide. Yep. So we will first find here, we will write the general matrix. Next, we will fill the elements of the matrix, the corresponding resistance values and the voltage values. Then we will write del 1, del 2 and del 3. The next step, what do we do? We find what is del value, del 1 value, del 2 value and del 3 value. And the final step, we find I1, I2 and I3 by dividing the corresponding determinant values. So delta 1 by delta gives us I1, delta 2 by delta gives us I2 and delta 3 by delta gives us I3. This is how we find the mesh currents. Let us have one more problem. So in the circuit shown, find the current using mesh analysis. So this is the circuit that is given to us. We are asked to find the current IL. So IL flows in between here in this branch. So let us see how to proceed with this circuit. So as usual, we write the general matrix. So we have three closed loops here. So if you see this matrix, see this circuit, this is one closed path, second closed path and the third closed path. So three closed paths means let us assume three currents. So let me assume the current to be I1 here. Let me assume the current to be in this mesh as I2, and let me assume the current to be in the third mesh as I3. So we are having three meshes here. So we are assuming three currents as I1, I2 and I3. So with reference to these three currents, let us see how to solve this problem using a similar method we saw in the previous problem. Now we are asked to find IL alone. So IL is present between the second mesh and the third mesh. So what will be the value of IL? IL will be equal to the current I2. So IL will be nothing but it will be I2 value minus of I3 value, since it is present in a common branch between the second mesh and the third mesh. So we will find the general matrix. If you find del 2 and del 3 alone, that is enough. No need to find del 1, because what is asked in the question is IL, and IL is present between mesh 2 and mesh 3. So find what is I2, find what is I3, subtract the currents, that gives the required load current IL. So this is the general matrix. It is similar to what we saw in the previous problem. So now we are finding R11. I want you to solve this by your own, because we have seen how to do this in the previous problem. So R11 means exclusive to the first mesh alone. R22 means exclusive to the second mesh alone. R33 means exclusive to the third mesh alone. And we are finding the common resistors between mesh 1 and mesh 2, mesh 1 and mesh 3, and mesh 2 and mesh 3. So we are finding all the elements required for the resistance matrix, and next we have to find the voltage sources. So we have sources in all three parts of the circuit. So if you see here, for I1 it is minus to plus. So this voltage will be positive. I2 is again, it goes like this. So it is leaving terminal is positive. This will also be positive. But here if you see, the leaving current is negative. So I3 will be minus 6 volts. So we can see it is 4, 8 and minus 6, because the current leaves the negative terminal of the voltage source. Now in the next step, what do we do? Find what is del, find what is del 2 and what is del 3. So del 2 means replace the second column of the delta matrix with the voltage source values. Del 3 means replace the third column of the delta matrix by the voltage source values. Why we find only del 2 and del 3? Because in the question only IL is asked. IL is common between mesh 1 and mesh 2. So IL is nothing but I2 minus I3. So finding I1 is not required for this problem. Only if they ask you to find all the mesh currents, find all I1, I2 and I3. If they specifically ask us to find any one mesh current, find that mesh current alone. So in the next step, we have solved the determinants. We have found what is delta, delta 2 and delta 3. So you must be knowing how to solve the determinants by the knowledge of mathematics you studied in your school days as well as in your engineering mathematics in the previous semester. So what is I2? I2 is nothing but del 2 by del. What is I3? I3 is nothing but del 3 by del. So we have found I2, IL, which is I2 minus I3. So it is del 2 by del minus of del 3 by del. So del 2 is 420. So it is 420 by 252 minus 168 by 252. So the answer that we are getting is 1 amperes. Right? So I hope this topic is clear to you, and this is very important as far as your university exams are concerned. Mesh analysis is one of the important part B or part C questions for the university examinations. If you have any doubts, you can clarify it. Thank you.